What's happening?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Not? Did you say not you?
Who has time to be tired?
Well, I don't know. I'm on 60 milligrams of prednisone right now. So like,
keep you kind of like jacked up.
I told him take advantage of the steroids that he's on.
Gain a little puffy weight.
And testosterone.
Are you doing it?
Taking testosterone. My doctor picked him up and prescribed it. I got him to prescribe it.
You get to the shot? You do it yourself? No, I mean, but he gets it to you.
Yeah.
He's making all that money and stuff.
Every 10 days. Plus, I've been working out a lot. Because I have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And when I started, he was like, you better work out. I just gained weight.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. It's like, they wait till you're at rock bottom though before recognizing it, rather than just get you set up.
I got another client that actually was doing yard work and some kind of poison something. And it's not poison ivy, but some kind of poison something. And he just broke out. Had it for like a week. Finally went to emergency room.
Yeah.
And they gave him prednisone. I said, take advantage of it. Get in the gym.
Yeah. Feel no pain when you're on it. That's what everybody always says. It's they feel so good when they start taking it. And I'm like, well, you can't stay on it. It's not something you want to just take recreationally.
That's where it told me, be careful in the gym because you'll feel stronger, but your joints are still not.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll feel like you're not feeling the pain, and stuff like that. It'll keep inflammation coming down. You'll pay for it. Right? You haven't been here, have you?
That's fine. Cool.
Yeah, this is a.
Go ahead and give him the tour, like it's well, it is your second home.
Yeah. This whole upstairs, the whole downstairs is just being used for storage, but it was a computer repair place downstairs. This was a demo office.
Oh yeah.
So inside there was a lab and everything. That's all locked. The offices, they go all the way around through the back and stuff. So I don't use any of that. I use in here a bit. Like there's a. I don't actively do anything. There was a couch in here. Or something. There's a kitchen in here and stuff. So
I don't know. You can't just live there.
I know. I was like, if there was a shower, I'd just move in. But I just pretty much use this area.
You still
two bathrooms.
Oh, you do sell the doTERRA still, right?
I have the doTERRA, like I'll represent it and stuff, but I'm not pushing it. It's too hard for me to juggle that and put my attention in that and do the other stuff because doTERRA needs all of your.
I need frankincense for you.
Yeah. This is the supplement area. This is just kind of what I've got on hand and everything like that. I got the online dispensary as well, but this is kind of what I'm pulling from most of the time with people. Most of it's sports nutrition, weight loss kind of stuff, performance and everything. A lot of the other stuff that would be more like nutraceuticals and the clinical type side, people disorder stuff online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are the vegan ones. These are the ones that are whey protein and egg protein.
Is this you can't do weight off, can you?
No, I would be in the hospital. Like, no joke. Last time I had any dairy, I was in the hospital. It wasn't just a slight reaction.
Yeah.
Which is so sad. I still have a morning. I'm still going through the morning process of that because used whey protein since I was 15 years old. You know, I mean, it was always a staple in my plan. And you know, I was always sort of like doing more of a plant-based way of eating and everything, but all of that's changed. I've had to go away from that. I've had to do dairy-free. I eat meat now, but my protein supplements are plant-based. So, and they've done a whole lot of revamping, and they've been able to formulate plant proteins now so that they're really close in their performance to whey.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
So you're not really compromising a whole lot anymore, like before. They weren't on the same level.
Yeah.
So this is a really good blend. Comes really, really close to like a whey protein. And there's also too that discussion that people have with whey protein where it being a dairy product and not really in alignment with the human body and stuff. So I just leave it to the individual to decide what resonates with them, what works well for them.
Yeah.
I don't take a real hard stance on any of it because we're all unique.
Yeah, I know, very.
Yeah, you gotta listen to what truly works.
What do you take currently? You take the Black Magic?
I'm using Black Magic. I used this for years, the core nutritionals. My only problem with this one was that it was becoming more challenging to get. I don't know why, but my manufacturer was having issues getting it. And so I experimented with this. I didn't like it when it first came out, but it's evolved, and the formula is really good now. It's really smooth. The original formula kind of was a little gritty. People sort of were like on the fence with it as far as did they like it or not. I want something that people are going to look forward to using, you know, and not feel like, oh my God, I got to do my shake. You know? Mm-hmm. Because with the whey protein, I would do a couple shakes a day, and they were like milkshakes to me. You know, they weren't a problem.
Right.
So I wanted something that was like that. The one that you got, the Gap protein, I like that taste and everything like that. It just never really launched. It just never really took off and gained traction.
I even looked online. I searched online for limited cake. One place it was like out of stock.
Yeah.
I think I found it like in the UK. So.
Yeah, they were selling them for like, you know, the prices have fluctuated a lot too. So I always keep that in mind. So a little container like that can be $44.
Yeah.
It's just like, why? You know?
I mean, I wasn't, because I was stuff from you. I was just curious, you know.
No, because people give me feedback all the time. They tell me where to find stuff, and it gives me some direction to look in. But this one, Black Magic's really been good. I mean, Steven can remember when I was hell-bent and religious about NutriBio, and I over time have just sort of evolved because of customer requests and just looking for something that, you know, people like the taste of better.
Right.
Or that, you know, is more diverse. So,
if only I could do whey protein.
So is this
fruit world's here?
Yeah.
I think I
just came in. Blake wants that, so I got.
I know he was telling me about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
He messaged me, and I was like, Blake, what's going on, man? What do you want Fruit Loops for?
Because he wanted something different. He wanted something different.
I think I have vanilla, and I use it all, and then I have a little bit of. I don't like the Black Magic chocolate.
Yeah. It's like a really strong chocolate.
But so is this the same that I would have had before, the vanilla?
Yeah, they've just probably since you last bought it though, things have been reformulated and kind of refreshed. So with that being said, the flavors and stuff are a little smoother and not as harsh. My favorites are these. I use these every day. So I go between the cookies and cream and caramel macchiato. Caramel macchiato I mix with cold brew coffee and organic soy milk. I think I told you. And then the cookies and cream doesn't have like bits of cookie in it, so it's sort of like a really light chocolate. It's not like cookies and cream with the bits and pieces, kind of like that. It's smoother and it's just more of a light, really, really light chocolate.
Does this have aminos in it?
Yeah, it's all amino acid.
I'll wait because I just got that.
I'll always have those. They were just for a minute. They were on some sort of delayed shipping.
Oh, okay.
It should be all right.
I'll probably get creatine somewhere.
which is funny.
I got your stuff right there. I just will let you pick pre-alkaline or if you want it.
I'm going to take the pre-alkaline because what
I figured you were going to. Because I remember in the past we had talked about it, and I think that you had researched.
I mean, I like the pre-alkaline, and the last stuff I had was the monohydrate, and I just found myself. I know it's more some more pills to be taking, but I found myself forgetting or not wanting to. Now I got to make a drink and put that creatine in.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not putting it in straight water, even though it's not supposed to have a taste. It always does.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I would end up forgetting or skipping, especially on days where I'm not working out.
Right.
So I'll just, crealkaline is, I guess, easier for me to take.
Yeah.
So
I sell a lot of crealkaline. I have for years, and the people that use it love it. And there's always those naysayers that say it's hype, it's this and that. But my thing is, it's been around since the late '90s, and it's like it's got great ratings.
I just go back to
it's just buffered
the end of 2013 into 2014, and when I first started taking it, and I noticed, and people around me noticed the result, the craziness.
Every time somebody buys it, even a new person, they always like it. So.
So it's a capsule. It's not mixed with
Yeah, and I tell people if you want, like if you get, you're going through the bottle, and you're just like, hey, I want to put this in my drink. You can always open the capsule and just put it in your whatever you're mixing. It's fine to do that. It's just a buffered form of creatine. Right, same here. So I don't mind.
I don't want another pill. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm using crealkaline, I tend to open the capsules and put them in my drink, and then it's just, I don't know. It's whatever mood I'm in.
So if I'm gonna get creatine, you recommend this?
Well, it's just one that I do recommend it. It's just one that I say to people that if you have the opportunity to give both a shot, a fair trial, and just see what you like. Most of the time, people come back to crealkaline. So it's a buffered form of creatine. You don't get the gut upset and stuff that some people are sensitive to. And then the other thing with the powders, a lot of times, because you're taking a higher dosage, people will, not everybody, but some people see a water weight gain that they either like or they don't like. If you're on prednisone, you're already going to have that as a possible side effect. So taking creatine monohydrate may totally exacerbate that. So you could take crealkaline.
Just tell him the brain benefits of taking creatine.
Will it make me smarter?
It's funny how they're, after all this time coming out, and they're telling people now, when it first came out, it was like, load up on it, take a bunch of it. Then they come out and they're like, don't do that. You don't need to do that. It's a waste of money. No benefits to doing that. Just take 1 or 2 servings a day. Now, here we are, 30 years later?
Yeah.
Something, 40 almost.
I was taking it 30 years ago.
And they're telling you now to take 10, 20 grams of it a day for cognition.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Man, and that even in that new study that said it didn't do anything, there's
I guess they didn't measure cognitive effect or something.
well, it was all about muscle gain.
Yeah.
But there was I think Mike Israetel, Dr. Mike Israetel. He went over the study, and he was like, "This is one study. Right. Science is really a combination of multiple studies. Right. So you have this one study that's talking about this and saying this, when you have all these other studies that are saying." He's saying so. But in him breaking it down, it was like, so they're saying doing the 5 grams isn't really helping.
Yeah.
But if you did more, So, but at the same time, he's like, it's one study.
Right.
So there'll be multiple studies.
And the thing is, the truth is that creatine monohydrate's been the most studied, and they know certain things about it, that it's not damaging to the kidneys. You can take it safely. You know, you obviously got to be hydrated. You got to have your foundation, but it's a safe supplement to take. I mean, I first started taking it, I was
12.
Yeah, I was like 15, and I just remember the mindset like it was yesterday. This was so exciting and brand new to me, and I was having all these wonderful mentors around me and stuff who I thought they were old, wise men, but they were really like 25 years old. It's just a funny thing. And so I remember the guy that I really was looking up to that was giving me direction, he was teaching me about exercise and working out and everything like that, was creatine, fish oil, vanadyl sulfate, chromium. I mean, there were these key things, and I just hung on to those things. And well, you remember we took phosphagen.
Yeah,
that was the big breakthrough.
Phosphagen.
The special creatine, you know.
Yeah.
So what it was pretty much kind of like this: German creatine, Creapure. So Creapure was the standard. If you weren't using Creapure, if you weren't getting the creatine from Germany, you were getting screwed over, or you're getting bunk creatine, you know, and all this. So for a while, creatine was very expensive. A kilo of creatine back in the day was $140 a kilo. And then, you know, 10 years into that.
Every time I hear a kilo, I always think of cocaine.
So over 10 years, the price dropped down considerably. So I try to tell people, like, if they look at it and they're looking at pricing and stuff, I'm like, it's cheap now compared to what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always going to be.
But to new people, it's that's expensive. Yeah, I'm like, that's $40.
$40, yeah.
For me, when I had worked out prior to this, but when I got like serious, I was in my mid-20s living in Atlanta. I joined the gym, and the trainer I had was a former Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing creatine. I was taking the weight gainer stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like 130 or something.
Yeah.
And I could not put on weight. And my roommate, she was just laughing. She's like, "You're doing all this and you're not putting on a single pound."
That's how I was. I was on this protocol of the supplements that I mentioned, and then I was on heavy weight gainer 900.
Yeah.
And they told me to mix it with whole milk and add a scoop of ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Right through me.
And then it was something to the effect of like, do this for a month or something, and then we'll sit down and talk. So I'm counting the days down, trying to get my gains, see the, you know, all the stuff. And I go in, and then they introduce me to MCT oil. And they're like, this is jet fuel. You gotta be careful with this. And I'm like, oh my God. And I think at the time, my mom's like, what are you doing? You're doing drugs? You know, it's like all this stuff. But I had this whole arsenal, and I mean, I'm just saying, I'm this whole like living proof of the fact that at 15 that inspired me, and I'm still doing this stuff, you know, that many years later, and I love it. I love learning about it.
32 years later.
32 years later. Yeah, it's wild to think about. I get just as excited about new things and helping people that I did when I was learning back then. And so it's really interesting. As you get older, you just reflect on those things.
Yeah,
I think. So it's like you with what you do. I mean, it's like it's your passion, you know. So you find what you really want to do, and you allow that to just be.
What he didn't know when they meant MCT oil was jet fuel, was how fast it goes through your body.
I didn't know.
That's not necessarily what they meant, but
it'll burn through your body quickly. You'll be in the bathroom. But yeah, because you're a kid, you know, you think more is better. Give me more.
Right.
Out there, we're like, start slow.
Remember when you put Aries on MCT oil? I got him on MCT oil, and he came in the train, and he was sitting down. He goes, y'all didn't tell me that when I take the MCT oil, I need to be sitting right next to the bathroom.
Yeah, you have to start slow with it. I don't know anybody that can just jump right in. But once you're into it, it's all good. I had to remember back in the day, people that would buy MCT oil, and they were the kind of person where, you know, I always equated it to somebody that was building muscle, burning fat, somebody that was into athletics or sports or something. And there would be just some people that kind of stood out. I'm like, what are you taking this for? Oh, it keeps me going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what it's for, but okay, I get it.
It works.
But they use MCT too for cognition. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
of, lots of
Yeah.
studies that have been
Yeah.
done with MCT.
I didn't know that about creatine.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you were to take MCT oil and you were to take creatine,
It's in baby food.
yeah, it's good for. We need this. Stuff, So supplementing it with it in the way that we do with this is it can have some pretty awesome effects. I got up to a huge dosage of this years back when I was really putting on size. I mean, the most I've weighed was 227, and I'm not anywhere near that. Steve was 280 at that time. he's like 40 pounds.
No, I know, no.
No, it doesn't matter where I'm at. Steve could be on this end of the earth and I'm over here. And if I weigh this much, he weighs that much. As long as there's this like 30, 40 pounds.
The most I've ever weighed was 254.
Really?
Yeah. That was the beginning of 2023.
Yeah. 227 is mine. So I
where are you at now?
215, 216.
Okay. All right. I weighed in today at 222 and a half.
Yeah.
So
well, I've been trying like really hard to be on this really focused path. It's like you say, like you get a day where you're like, I don't feel like taking my creatine or something. And I'm like, I'm trying to be super diligent about it all because I just noticed that I was kind of like at the 205 mark for a while, and I just couldn't budget, so I really had to just redo my diet and get my supplements back in line. The other big one is like I'm doing these peptides, and I've got a lot of people using this. This has been one that I'm really excited about. How I was with Perfect Amino, like the peptides I take every single day, whether I work out or not. And it just helps your body to, even without exercise, the studies show that one of the peptides in here builds muscle. So they give it to people that have any kind of wasting or they're not getting in enough protein. They've got high cortisol levels or whatever. This can be very helpful for muscle preservation. So from a bodybuilding standpoint, of course, it's attractive. It helps with strength recovery and just building muscle. So there's a lot of peptide stuff going on out there. I try to weed through it all. A lot of them are injectables.
Oh, these are capsules. I thought it was a powder.
Capsules, yeah. So there's 2 peptides in here that they're fairly new to the market, but this is the product that I found out of trying several that really works well.
So no one's giving you a complaint about having to take 8 of these as a serving?
Some have. And
I mean, it's talk about Perfect Amino, but
well, because that's the thing. I want people to use Perfect Amino in this to get like the best, most incredible effects. And you're talking about, 15, 20, 25 tablets of that and 8 of these, and it just can be, I get it. But they don't bother the gut and everything like that. I mean, I say that coming from somebody who's got Crohn's disease and sensitivities and stuff, it doesn't bother nothing. These capsules are maybe eventually they'll find a way to concentrate them because they're capsules. They're not tablets and compressed. They could concentrate them further. I imagine they're not in the powder because it's got dileucine in it, which is an amino acid, and it's very, very, very bitter. So it just would be something that you wouldn't want to drink it.
So,
but when the benefits outweigh,
so it's all in the mindset of the person and what they are wanting to accomplish. Really, it's like what are you willing to invest?
Right. I mean, it's something for me. It's like I just have to. It's just I don't think about it. I can't allow myself to go down that complaining of it's too many pills or something. It's just this is.
Fuck it, just break it up. Take 4 this time. Take 4.
Right. I usually do 2.
10 minutes later.
In the middle, in the morning, and then I take my other 4 post workout or just later in the day, depending if it's a workout day or not.
So, I keep bragging about this, but I'm proud of myself. I have lost. I was at 185 forever, right? For years. and now I'm below 170.
Awesome.
After 18 years, 18 and a half years,
What?
he's finally being consistent, or at least somewhat consistent in the gym.
Again,
Like I said, after 18 and a half years.
I was consistent before I met you, and I was like, oh, I found someone I can stop working out.
That's why I said 18 and a half years.
That's that Gemini personality.
Like,
I guess.
They did all the
I did everything to get you.
This time around, though, I'm very dedicated. So,
well, it's again, I think it's one of those things. I mean, and I say this just again from talking to people over the years and having my own experiences, is that you along the way you're constantly making shifts and compromising this for that and whatever, and it's like you just have to be honest about what do you want, what do you want to achieve, and what feels good and stuff. And I just know that feeling good physically informs my brain to feel good, you know. And obviously there's aspects of the other way around, but you mentally could feel fantastic, and then you do get to a point where you're like, but my body hurts, my body's not functioning right, you know. And so I tell people all the time that don't get, I mean, I want to talk about nutrition, I want to talk about lifestyle, I want to talk about your supplements and everything, but you can't negate the working out. There's nothing that's going to replace that. You got to keep moving. We're designed for that. So it's interesting a lot because there's just a pattern of this default setting that people go to. They think it's just like, oh, I just have to, if I do this, I don't have to do that, whatever. And I'm like, no, it's a synergistic effect. You know, you got to do all the things.
and it's like I've got so much information from when I started back working out in my 20s, and I had good instruction.
Yeah.
And I had, I knew about nutrition and how to eat properly. And then years with him and all the bodybuilding knowledge picked up and all the videos. So it's just like I had to apply it,
Right.
I'm finally eating good, like I know I should. I'm exercising. And feeling better.
It is all pretty straightforward. It is simple.
I did have a client that he kind of complained about that last year.
Yeah. Too much.
He was putting on too much muscle, particularly in his legs and glutes. And that's because he got fitted for his tux for his wedding.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't fit the pants. Yeah. I mean, he kept having to get things adjusted to where he ended up having to get a whole new suit the week of his wedding.
That's a problem I would love to have. My legs got too big, But
I had clothes I thought I'd have to throw out, like pants. I thought, I'll never wear these again. Now I can.
Yeah.
Now my pants are falling down.
He came in the living room the other day and was like, I need to get a new belt. And he's done the final hole in his...
I took a knife and poked another hole in his bow.
Yeah.
But still, yeah. So if I got you here and you here.
Uh-oh.
The one thing I should add, should it be creatine? Like I was going to get something right now. Because all I'm doing is the protein powder right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, creatine will help give you that kind of next level stuff, as far as like performance, recovery, building muscle. I go back to just if you're on prednisone right now, I don't know.
Maybe I shouldn't.
It's not a negative effect. It's just that I don't know how long will you be on that.
About a couple more months. Six weeks,
I mean, it's just something to be mindful of. If you were gonna pick a creatine, I would just probably use crealkaline then.
Yeah.
So that you don't have, so much of the fluid interaction. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't have any solid information to tell you, hey, this interacts negatively with that. It's just my own sort of out-the-box thinking.
What do you think, Steve? You agree?
This is sort of his out-the-box thinking. He did that on purpose.
Yeah. All right. I mean, meaning to get some, so.
Yeah, you'll get all the performance benefits and stuff. You just won't get that sort of fluid retention type of side effect that often comes with the powder.
Yeah.
You know, that's all.
I'm worried. My worry now is I'm gonna get too skinny. I feel like I'm withering away. That's why I have to be sure to eat and eat and eat.
As long as you hit if you have a sense of your macros and how much protein and stuff you should eat every day, you'll be good. Your body will.
That's profanity to a lot of people, you know.
Macros. It is. Yeah. I just want to eat what I want when I want, whatever I want.
Yeah, I know that won't work. So.
You know, I don't want to track anything, and I'm like, we have to have a sense of some things. It's just tracking things for a little bit. It's like riding a bike with training wheels. Do the training wheels until you can balance yourself and know what to do, and then you're free to go. But
yeah,
if you don't have an idea of what you're eating every day, I promise, like, your brain doesn't tell the truth when you're like, I ate enough protein. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't eat a lot of carbs.
Yep.
yeah.
You know, I hit my calories more times than not. People are eating more calories than they think they are, or
And
they're not getting enough.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not getting the protein. I was telling him.
Protein's always the one. Always the
It's
issue.
like, so I'm just downing tons of protein shakes. But I'm trying to eat a lot of chicken, basically, for my protein, but it's hard for me to just eat all that chicken.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Not me.
No, I'll eat.
Not me.
My go-tos are eggs, bison, chicken, turkey, and yeah, I saw a video the other day. I don't know if you saw it. It was this kid, he's like some influencer, said one ingredient pancakes. Did you see this video?
No.
So of course I click it because I'm like, what is this?
You probably did send it to me on Facebook, and I haven't seen it yet.
Magical thing here that it's about to show.
bananas?
No, it was beef. I made a beef patty. One ingredient pancake. I was like, you ass.
You put syrup on it?
I know. But I was like, there you
I'm
go.
like, no, syrup on a beef pat? That's not a bad idea.
It's like, it works.
I don't. That's carbs. I don't need the bread.
So I'm realistic too. I don't take those approaches with people and try to tell someone that, hey, trade your pancakes for beef cakes, you know.
Yeah. What?
But I mean, it's like, put things into perspective. Like, you can allow yourself to have some pancakes here and there, but you know, for so many people, the morning is a really chaotic experience, you know, and then what they eat is Pop-Tarts or pancakes, or they toast with something on it, or a bagel, and then they blast some coffee, you know, with cream and sugar, and you're really starting the day off in such a deficit that it really makes sense why your whole day then kind of like sucks. And then you try to, when you get home and unwind, it's like, well, I need a sensible dinner. No, you need a sensible day. Like, you need a day that makes sense. And then at night, you know, you're not trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, I came home from after the gym last night. I was starving, and my blood sugar was low,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that's why I was in like a shitty, gripey mood at Kroger.
I went home.
Like, I gotta check out myself. I gotta buy my groceries, and everything's so expensive. I bitched about it to him when I got home, and then I got home and I'm like trying to cook all this chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No, everything becomes like a trigger.
yeah,
And that's just the reality of it. And I just am saying to people, I'm just like inviting people to think about it. You know, I'm not trying to tell anybody anything or preach. It's just that, just pause and think, like, what's your experience, you know? Because the empowerment moment is realizing, yeah, these things are all going on. What can I do to change it? So you got to have some preparation. You got to, you know, do certain things on a consistent basis. And I was telling my mom yesterday, I said the one thing, and I say this all the time, is that I will never compromise going to the gym. I mean, because if I do, everything starts to just crumble. It just does. Now, I can have what I would call a shitty workout, but you and I know, like, there's no bad workout. Just work out.
Yeah.
You know, at least
Right.
you did it. And I was really, you know, I just really think about that a lot, where it's like you just have to have certain staples in your life that you just don't deviate from. You just don't. You go to the gym and you can lift less, you can modify your workout, but just go. You know? So.
I took Nick through a I would just call it like a super hypertrophy workout today.
Yeah.
He didn't like it.
Yeah.
He's like, you knew what you were gonna do, and I didn't get a chance to think about what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just did it on a whim. I said, we're still doing the same exercises that was already programmed. It was already a hypertrophic workout to begin with.
Yeah.
I said, I just upped the reps on everything. Like the first exercise was incline dumbbell chest press, or bench press, or whatever you want to call it. And I said, here's the weight. Do as many reps as you can.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing like 17. I didn't want him to make it like he was doing like 50 reps or anything. He did like 17. And I said, you're going to do 2 more sets and you have to get 17 on each one.
Yeah, you set the bar.
And he was like, I knew you were going to do that. He's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get 17. I said, if you need to stop at 12 or wherever, stop 5, 10 seconds, maybe 15. And then finish it out. Yeah. But you're going to get 17 each time.
I'm workouts. When I do that, I usually will do that. I'll usually do like a program to the effect of that, where I take the weight. Now, granted, I mindfully think about the weight like, okay, well, what do I think I'm going to get 8 to 10 or 12? And sometimes I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get 20. It means I got to do 20 for my set and whatever.
Yep.
And whatnot. So I'll do 2 or 3 sets of that, extended sets. And the cool thing about doing that is that it's enough to stimulate things to where I get that good soreness. I get that, I just feel really like good about it.
What you doing? Texting your trainer?
WhatsApping.
You're WhatsApping your trainer?
Yes. I told him last night, I said, I have a confession. I didn't want to tell you. I thought you'd be upset, but I hired a trainer.
Again. The second time he's hired a trainer.
Oh, well, that one chick, she was like flaky as hell. Oh my God. She was like, I have to cancel at the last minute.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So she showed up. She was a good trainer.
Yeah.
But this guy is in the UK, so he like put together a plan for me, and like nutrition plan, workout plan.
Yeah.
He's very...
all the things that I do for people.
Yeah.
But because 18 and a half years of, what you make me play? What you make me play? What you put me out? Yeah. And then he would do it 2, maybe 3 times and then stop. I was like, I ain't doing it this time. I'm not doing it.
I have people where I don't
I'm
know
not
how
doing
many
it.
times I've made plans for them and then they just don't have the value for it because of who I am to them, you know?
Yeah.
Like if they had to...
But that's the same with my client, Christy.
Yeah.
Her wife reached out to me, and this is during the pandemic, this is 2020, and said, Christy, wants to do this, and this, so here, but, she's not going to listen to me because I'm the wife.
Right.
And it's the same scenario.
Yeah.
It's like, Steve gave me the workout.
It's not that I don't respect you or trust you or any of that. It's just like I realize like if I'm gonna like be serious, do this for myself. Like I'm just gonna.
You need a different route of accountability.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Otherwise, you guys
it's just
have a relationship, and then it's like, okay, I got to compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
Now you got to be my trainer and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it.
This guy's very knowledgeable, very good, a very good communicator.
Yeah.
I'll hit him up. And like yesterday, I was like, "Can we have a short call today? I have a few questions." Like, sure.
Yeah. No, I had somebody that I worked with for a while just because I had so much chaos going on, and I just wanted a sort of a sounding board, to bounce things off of. And he would always say to me, "You already know this stuff." And I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need the confirmation.
The confirmation. Yep.
Just the reassurance
and hear someone else say it.
Because I take responsibility for the fact that I have like a very ADHD mind and a brain that goes all over the place, and then I'll get locked in a very OCD place of like obsession, and then it'll paralyze me. I won't make a decision. I'll be stuck, and I'll just let it go on loop and think about, or I do too much. And then I don't know where I'm at. So I just need somebody to be like, one of the phrases, and I use this a lot. One of the phrases that he used with me was, he's like, you need to get in the gym, do what you got to do, and leave. That's it. Hit it and quit it. Mm-hmm. So I always have that in my mind. I say that to people, just get in and hit it and quit it. You know, don't think you got to do too much.
Is this recent?
No.
Oh,
Something I just.
yeah, so that's not what he does.
I don't. That's what I say. So I got to have an accountability coach. I know. Because when I did have that, I did that. But when
now he's like out.
now
Like
it's
the
a
gym
thought.
closes at this time. I'm gonna go in at this time,
Right.
and then he's got people coming
Then
up
they-
to him and talking to him.
Yes. And then they stay open late for me. And then I'm there crazy like 1:30 in the morning and stuff, chatting and doing other stuff.
They know me for Planet Fitness now. Guy wished me a happy birthday. So.
Yeah.
Oh, because it popped up on the screen.
Well, yeah. Still, I knew I made it.
That's ABC Fitness. That's their system.
Yeah.
Pops up on the screen. Same thing. Same system Crunch uses. Actually, the same system that now owns Trainerize.
Yeah.
So
Still, it made me feel.
made you feel special.
But
So.
yeah, it's just there's nothing wrong with having a coach, somebody that you can.
Yeah. Honestly, I think everybody needs a coach.
Yeah.
Everybody needs that accountability. When I'm training for a competition, even the year that I did my own prep, my own as far as my own diet and everything was concerned, I still had Jeff in the corner. Well, I say I did my own diet. I consulted with a nutritionist for my diet.
Yeah, I mean,
And he was like, I've never done a bodybuilding thing before. I'm like,
yeah. Well, especially vegan.
Yeah, I was meatless. I won't say vegan. I was meatless.
That I mean, honestly, at the time, I remember just being like, I remember my mindset at the time. I just didn't want to be.
I didn't want to be responsible if he did.
For the outcome, it wasn't what I wanted. Because I was like, the plant-based and veganism and all that stuff, it was sort of new to me. I really had to push back against that for so long. But I had, number one, it was trending, and it still sort of is, in these little niche groups and stuff. But I was experimenting with it myself, and I was having really good results. But I'm a believer in that just because I'm having results doesn't mean you're going to have the same result.
Right. Everybody's different.
So I didn't want to go out and about telling everybody to go on plant-based, But I did get really good results for a while. And in hindsight, I think I'm at a point of understanding why I had the results I had. And it wasn't that I was plant-based. It was the way that I was eating. I was really plugged in.
Dialed in, yeah.
And I was eating 5,000 calories a day. I was doing alternate day eating where I'd have a high calorie day. Mm-hmm. So my high calorie day would be like 5,000 calories. My following day would be fairly low, under 800 calories.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wasn't doing that shit.
But it felt great because I'm the kind of person, I really don't like eating. So when I eat, I'm fine, but I don't like it to be.
I've gotten more that way, like in the past couple years.
Yeah,
I used to just like shovel food down.
No,
anymore it's like
I would look forward to be like Monday I'm eating big. Tuesday I got a day off from eating. Wednesday I'm gonna eat really big.
Yeah.
So Wednesday I would eat 7,000 calories. So this is back when I was super lean and I was strong as hell and I was feeling good, everything. And then I get Crohn's disease. So that sort of made me think, with a lot of the stuff that's come out now, and it's controversial, is that
we're coming on 7 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it makes me wonder because I was eating a lot of plant-based stuff. I was eating a ton of volume because I wasn't eating meat, so I had to eat a lot to hit my calorie mark and also
your protein
to get the result that I wanted. So when I was had a coach that I was talking with. That was sort of new to him too. So we worked together and we just kept elevating my calories. So on my highest calorie day, 7,000 calories wasn't necessarily super clean eating. It was 80% clean. And then I could have, I still had some, like I could eat dairy at that time. So I could eat a whole pizza.
Oh, okay.
A cheese pizza.
Yeah.
But I was putting all this stuff in my body and I just think my system over time was just like, enough, It wasn't sustainable. So now I'm at a point where I need something sustainable. It's still edgy, but it's sustainable. You know, I can do it, and it's not. You know, it also allows me to be a social person. Whereas when you're eating the other way, you can't go out to eat. You can't have normal interactions.
That's the thing with bodybuilding. When you're preparing for a competition, going out to eat or socializing and stuff, you really can't to truly.
Did you tell them about Magazine Dreams? We watched Magazine Dreams.
Oh, with the Jonathan Majors movie. It's really good.
He's like obsessed with being a champion bodybuilder, and there's a scene where he takes a date out to eat. He's like.
And he's like ordering certain,
and he was very specific. About
Does it have this? Does it have that? Just give me this. Give me. And she's just looking like, what the hell?
Yeah. See, and I'm exhausted with that stuff for myself, and I don't go out to eat anymore ever. I just don't even do it. But I just remember the time. It was just a headache, you know. But now, I mean, I'm around like 38 to 4,000 calories at the most. And I can do that every day. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you just gotta, like I say, you just gotta be honest with what it is you want to achieve.
It's interesting because I'm currently running this program my workout program I've probably seen it, the 21-day Alpha Track. It's basically a starter for people, or a starter or a reboot people to gain lean muscle mass and stuff. And so a diet comes with it and everything, or a diet guideline comes with it. So I'm going through all the exercises, and I'm working it on myself to make sure that it's exactly how I want it to be and how I believe it's going to work. And it's so funny because, you know, it's spring, but yet in the gym, at Finish Strong, they turn these fans on, and there's like 10 throughout the entire. So you, at any given moment, you're standing underneath one. So I'm not in there walking around typically with like a t-shirt on or a tank top. I'm usually got a sweatshirt on because I'm standing under a fan and I'm cold.
Right.
So most people see me with a hoodie or sweatshirt on.
Covered up.
So when I'm working out, especially now, today was very crazy because I've been doing this program for, this is the third week. And again, I'm working out with Nick, and I'm taking him through this super hypertrophy workout. And I took the hoodie off, and I have an OTB string of tank on. And so we're did chest, and we're did back, and so it's a whole upper body, and we're doing shoulders, and I can just see the veins and stuff just popping out, and people looking. Like one dude came up to me who sees me every morning, and he goes, "Hi, you new here? Right. Did you buy those?" I was like, and then another dude came up and was like, "I thought I had big shoulders, but man," I was like, so I'm just like, and of course, you know how my mind goes because body dysmorphia. Yeah. And I'm like, well, my actual goal right now is to get back down to the 215 mark, which I was in 2017, the fall of 2017, right after. Well, no, that was a year after I competed. That was when I was training Pat to compete, and so he had done his competitions, and I was like that, and I was still meatless at the time. Yeah, and I was like, what is different now than from what I was then? I was meatless. Yeah, and I said, does that really make that much of a difference? Not, because I'm not competing, I'm not tracking my macro. I am tracking my macros, but I'm not being as hard or strict like this, that, and the other. But now that I'm doing this program, I'm like, okay, I am. Right. I'm like, let me get this in, let me do this. And it's like, and it's just in a matter of a couple of weeks, it's just like being noticeable that even I'm noticing, and I'm noticing the weight come down.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy because even today I'm looking more now as I looked in 2017 when all those fabulous muscular veiny pictures that were had taken, the one that I used on the business card and using them those are pictures, and I'm like getting back to that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm inspired. I need to get some more of this.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it too is just, it is just like the consistency aspect. And then when you are consistent when it comes to your nutrition and your supplements, the gym experience is different.
Yeah.
So that's something like that I noticed. That's why I just think it's like, it's like a orchestra of notes, it's like everything has to just be in alignment. You end up with something that really is nice and balanced, because I'll notice that if I slack on my nutrition or something, I still can get through the gym. I can get through my workout.
Yeah.
But when my nutrition's on point, my workout is so much better. And then you start attracting people because they come up, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this? What's that? I had a guy the other day, he comes up to me, big dude. I'm not by him. I was down in a different area, and he says to me, he's like, could you spot me? He's like, you're the biggest dude in here.
Takes you forever to get up the stairs, and we heard the door.
I've been sitting in the parking lot since about 3:10.
Why?
Because you said you would be here at 3:30.
I've been here since
How are
2.
you? Good to see you again. Here, buddy. Oh. I'm not going to get the clove.
Why? What happened?
Well, I went to. I wish he wasn't here. I can be honest with you.
She can't be honest with me.
No,
People
because
tell
you
me
give me
everything.
grief.
I can't. How do I give you grief?
Because you say I'm too anal, which I am.
Oh my God.
I went
That's
to,
so
I went to my private because I was worried.
Yeah.
And so
Is everything okay?
Well, I have a dental appointment at 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning. I think I have herpes.
What? Are you being kidding? Are you kidding right now?
I'm not.
What did you do?
What's his name?
You're not being completely honest with me, apparently.
I don't really see that anymore. Go away.
Well, did they just give
Brian, take him home.
I know he's bad. He's.
I want one of these, even though you gave me one.
Good Lord.
Was it the same guy that gave you pink eye?
I don't judge, so.
I'm not judging.
Well,
I am, but I'll do it nicely. I'll sugarcoat it a little bit.
according to Google University, it's a canker sore.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I had valve cancer, which is what I didn't want to say in front of you.
Yeah.
Cancer.
Like, remove this, take this off, biopsy this.
So instead, she says herpes.
Yeah. It's in the same
Well,
realm.
that's my differential.
Yeah.
Canker, herpes, cancer. I mean,
She's about as bad as Brandon. Anytime something's wrong with him, he's like, I got a tumor.
Yeah.
Me? Remember? I had a lump here. I was like, Steve, I have a tumor here.
I get something and I go, this is typical.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Wait for it to get
in
really
this day and
bad.
age, that's where you go.
That's where you go.
You go to the worst thing that it could
I
possibly
know.
be.
And then 2 weeks later, it's totally gone.
I don't, because it'll keep me from moving.
Yeah, I know.
I
It cripples you.
I got too much to
Yeah, it cripples you.
It will.
That's the black in you.
It must be. It's gotta be. Because I'm just like, it's typical, I'm gonna cover that up.
Yeah,
I'll wear
like-
a hat or
like,
something. Or,
I
Forget
had
it.
a big
Forget
spot on my
No.
ear. My grandfather had to have his ear cut off because he had skin cancer. So I was like, Steve, they're going to have to cut off my ear.
I'm telling you, Brian, you and I are on the same page.
I went to the dermatologist. She's like, that's nothing. It's just a little growth. I'll cut it off.
God.
I've had things. Yeah.
I'd figure something out, but I mean, I would probably avoid it. I don't go to the doctor right away for anything.
That's good.
I go rapidly.
I know you do. I don't know how they get you in so quick.
I go rapidly.
I trust them less and less though, because
It's like I
I
told
think when they make their schedule, they keep it like a gray area. Terry may call. just leave some loose.
And I just told someone the other day that you got to remember they practice. That's all they do is practice.
Well, I told her about stopping the amlodipine and doing the circulation. She thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, it's good. Cool.
And I showed her all because I'm anal about taking my blood pressure now. I showed her all of the tracking that I've done, and she said, "Oh, yeah." She says, "You don't need to be on that anymore."
Good.
That's not the cardiologist, but
Well,
You know, the Whoop does the blood pressure now.
oh really?
Does the blood pressure and EKG. Do EKG.
so we're so lucky to see you. When are we going to have coffee?
Well, the fact that I don't drink coffee.
Well, you can have tea.
you can have tea.
You know, I can go to a place where they'll serve you tea or water. I have to have coffee.
Or wine.
I don't know. When
You want to go for a glass of wine? I'll take the two of you. The three of you. You don't drink. The two
I'll
of
drink
you.
coffee.
and I don't drink wine.
Have a beer.
I don't drink beer.
Have
He drinks
water.
Cosmos.
Have an apple martini.
I was just gonna say apple.
That is so gay.
Oh,
Have an apple martini.
He drinks Jaeger and Red Bull.
I love Jaeger.
Jaeger and energy drink.
Yeah.
I drink Jaeger.
Jaeger's top.
I drink Jaeger straight
To
too.
bring a gorilla mind. And,
It's actually really good.
Let's
I've
go
mixed
back.
them together. Oh yeah, when I was in California and LA in
Let's go
December,
back to my question.
they got me Gorilla Mind drinks
How
and
do you live
some
with
other kind of drinks. And
must
and
be
a
go in the
pint of,
afternoon.
or actually it wasn't even a
He's a
pint. It was
saint.
like it was a big bottle of Jaeger,
Yeah.
and I
a
was
saint.
mixed.
Tell
Huh?
live
him.
with
Tell
you.
him.
He's a saint.
He's a saint to be living with you.
It's actually the other way around.
No, so when can we have a drink of something?
Well, when are you available?
I'm available when I'm not going to a doctor.
I know that's the thing. That's like when are you
No,
available?
I am available, like, all the time. I am leaving to go see the kids, though.
I get cancer was alive.
I would show you two, but I wouldn't show him.
I would recommend going on lysine
Here,
or
look.
something. Okay, it's very, very small.
Oh, you want to see?
It's very small.
Oh.
So, but you have like bruising up there. Is
I
that?
know. It's because I pushed it and squeezed it.
Terry,
You have to leave it
jeez.
alone.
You would think I
breaking
would, with
vessels
my
in
medical
there.
background, that I would know that. I know that, but it's very.
It's a tiny little thing, and then she's got a massive bruise around it.
Because they hurt, right? They
Yeah,
really
knock her
hurt.
tooth out. That's probably why she told you to go to the dentist.
Because you didn't bruise yourself.
Damages the root to your tooth.
Well, and didn't have a root canal. It is what's the word?
Absent?
Oh, it's it's an implant.
Oh, implant.
It's an implant.
Okay.
So, in fact, that may be what they're going to do. They're going to say there's something wrong with the base of the implant. There's an infection there.
And that's why it's bruised?
Well,
Was it bruised
here's
before?
another reason why you think it's a bruise, and it's not a bruise, it's a tattoo.
A tattoo? A tattoo?
No.
You shake your head at
You're
me
making
like,
that up.
Because it's just like...
You got a tattoo in your mouth?
No, it wasn't intentional.
Oh no. This is
not,
a scary
it's not that
story.
it's not that I'm judging, Terry. You're just like...
I'm not judging. I'm more interested now.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
You're like...
Way back when,
Investigate, got to get clue by clue by clue, and it's like solve the mystery.
way back when, my very dear friend Fred, who was just out of dental school, and I was one of his first patients, and he started to do a root canal, and he put some silver. It's an amalgam, and so it's stained forever. And so it's called a tattoo.
Okay.
It's not like I went in and had a tattoo.
But see, that's a story that makes sense when you explain it that way. But see, don't call it tattoo.
No, but it's so much more
Just like
interesting.
just like don't call your cold sore herpes. You give such.
Even though that's what it is, it's just you just
It's like your headline to your article and your story. It's a grabber. It's a clickbait.
Isn't it a cold sore herpes?
It is. It's not necessarily clickbait, but it's definitely a hook to get somebody to click on your story.
Click it. It's like
Woman gets
Terry's got
tattoo in her
herpes.
mouth.
Sarah's got herpes.
Next to the tattoo in her mouth. No, it's not the thing.
But it's so exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's intense. Everyone's gonna be like, I gotta read this.
77.
Yeah.
77-year-old
So
has a
a
herpes.
woman with herpes
He's a
and a
tattoo in her mouth. Yeah.
That's your
Joe
hook.
always says I'm out of the box. I am out
Again, another.
of the box.
Well, it's all good. No, I have pennies if you save pennies.
Wow, I am truly blessed.
Here's Terry's penny. She didn't want it.
And
He told me you were coming, but I was coming also. So, but it wasn't that
Yeah,
we necessarily meant to.
because I changed it and he got mad at me.
No,
And
because I didn't work yesterday because I had Colton all day, and then I had to make up all of that today. So I was squeezing people in earlier, but I got some errands to run. It's all good. But we were supposed to meet at 3:30, 3:40, which is when you came in. But then you said, "Can I come in at 2?"
I was out there at 3:10 in the parking lot.
This is amazing. She was here early
I was here
for her
early.
3:30, but yet she came in late.
She asked me earlier if she'd come in at 2.
No, I'm just.
3:30, I said.
You said 2.
I was okay, I'm gonna go, so
You don't have to.
I will.
I would
Text me.
just take
I
it,
will
like, in
text
the
you.
morning with
And
your
we'll do-
breakfast, and then,
I'll come pick you
We'll
up.
do coffee.
pre or post
And I'll
workout.
come pick you up.
Okay.
I tend
Or I
to
can
like
meet
if you're
you.
taking a dose.
It'd
in
probably
the
just be
morning,
easier
I'll
to meet
just
me.
Take my second dose
Yeah.
post workout.
I'm going to the lake. And I'll be back on Tuesday.
Nice. But I have you. Do I already have you scheduled for the next time?
Not until June.
Am I? Did you schedule that? I don't know.
I don't know, because I have to find out, because I'm going with my friend out. We're going to have a road trip, a girls' road trip. And we're going to see the kids. But we're going to, do stuff on the way there. So,
Here, I had that with your clothes. The road on it.
okay. All right.
But
I'm glad I
ordered.
was your entertainment for the last 15 minutes.
Good seeing you.
I
Nice
ordered
seeing you,
your.
Brian.
I ordered your refills on that other stuff, so when you need it,
Oh,
it'll come.
so she said, this is great stuff.
Yeah.
So I might need something to pass on to her. Just in case she's...
Are you asking for a business card for him to give to you to pass off to her?
Probably information about the product, right? Yeah, tell her to just refer her patients to me. That would be easy. Why? They just tell us. What doctors will do, they'll just say, "Hey, go get your aminos from this guy." That's all. They don't get into anything deeper.
All right,
I don't
well,
step on any toes.
have a nice holiday. Safe
You too.
You too.
Be
You
safe.
too, Terry.
Next
Use
week.
protection.
Okay.
Use protection.
I don't need protection. I don't have sex.
Well,
I'm too old. I'm not going to say this in front of you. I wouldn't get naked in front of somebody ever again.
oh, come on.
No!
Couple drinks and stuff, you'll be fine. So.
On days when I'm not working out, do I still take this?
Yeah.
Same?
Yep.
Like once a day, twice a day?
At least once a day. You can get away with just taking 2 capsules
In the morning.
in the morning, yeah. But on workout days, you can do 2 capsules twice daily.
So this says like take it before and after workout. You're saying in the morning is better than just doing this.
There's no hard written way to take it. So like if you do it in the morning, it's just something like it's giving you that kind of boost to start your day. It depends where your workout falls in the day. So I don't think you need to do it right before and right after, but they are an option if you want to do it that way.
Probably easier just in the morning.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not going to have something else.
Right.
Okay.
It's just, again, one of those things where you just kind of play with it a little bit. A lot of the protocols are creatine post-workout now, but in the early days it was always pre-workout.
Yeah, I remember.
So,
And there's even people saying during your workout now.
yeah. So the other thing that can be considered is if somebody's taken a pre-workout that has stimulants in it. There's some speculation that taking creatine with certain stimulants and stuff can diminish the effect.
Oh.
So that's another good reason to space it, But again, there's pre-workouts that put creatine in it. So it's always just fine-tuning to your own liking, really.
What I do with the Crealkaline is I usually take it as and or with my pre-workout.
Yeah.
And then I take it after workout, which is actually what the directions said to do on there.
So you can
and on days that I'm not working out, I'll take one in the morning and then probably one in the afternoon.
Yeah, so I mean that's something. I mean, I can't find a reason that wouldn't work, Because really, at the end of the day, with the regular creatine studies, it's just about getting it in consistently daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of that carryover effect. So it's the consistency of using it more so than anything. There was always those talks. I mean, you probably remember when they're like, your window of opportunity to take your protein shake and do this.
You got 45 up to 45 minutes after your workout.
Yeah.
You got to get it in.
They're not saying that any longer?
No.
They don't really do that. They don't. And I remember, like I was saying earlier, with like the excitement of just getting into all this stuff. I remember it was like I'd work out, and then the guys I'd work out with, they'd be like, "Go do your shake now."
Yeah.
And it would be like, "Oh God!"
Yeah.
And you're like looking at the clock, like you got to get it in now.
There are some places that still are pushing that.
Yeah.
I think Power 3 is a place that does that, and I used to get a lot of phone calls from people who wanted to partner with OTB and put like shakes and stuff in there, so people could have immediately after the workout and this and that. And even by that time, I'm like, it don't matter to that extent. And when you get it, as soon as you get done working out, I'm like, if you're gonna go home, go home, eat, get your protein shake, whatever. And now I think, if I remember correctly, the window, quote unquote, is your pre-workout meal and your post-workout meal within a 5 hour is for optimal. So that as long as you get your pre-workout meal and your post-workout meal in 5 hours of each other, it's supposed to be optimal scientifically. But that, for some of us, there is no pre-workout meal. Like when I work out at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning because I'm training people, and then I do my workout right after I train them, I didn't get a pre-workout meal.
Right.
So because I'm not waking up and eating a meal at 4:30 in the morning. Especially when I don't go to bed until 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so that's like a key question. A lot of times I'll ask people because there's certain things, I mean, that I think you can say are absolutes, but for the most part, like things like that, I don't take that absolute stance of but it's like in one conversation, I might say that to someone after you work out, do your shake.
Yeah.
With another person, their diet is dialed in differently, and I'm like, do your shake at some point, Maybe their shake was their pre-workout an hour before, their workout. So I'm like, well, after your workout, have your dinner, or your meal. Yeah. It just depends on the person. My hope is that when people are doing this, though, they're kind of check-in, you know, and there's what works for me. What do I feel best with? A lot of times people don't feel good when they eat and then go to the gym. A lot of times people are working out like first thing in the morning and they don't want to eat anything. So my thing is with that is I'm like, just put aminos in your water bottle and drink those. Those are light, they're not going to affect you. So some people don't like to work out late in the evening because it keeps them awake, or they've eaten all day and they feel heavy. So I mean, there's so many things. So we got to just figure out. That's kind of a customized plan.
And that's why I can't stand when clients, I'll just say clients, will come and go, well, so and so eats this and that at this time, and they do this and that. I'm like, but that's not you. I'm like, your schedule isn't that schedule. Or like he used to get all the time, especially when we're at OTB. I want to eat what Steve eats.
Yeah.
I want to be able to eat canes.
And I would say to Steve, it's remarkable to me that some of the clients they'll say it with a little bit of like some sarcasm, or whatever, but they're really like, well, so what about? Can I eat donuts? Can I have canes? Can I have this? And it's like, no. Do you understand? Like, unless you want to mirror the same life patterns and stuff and the other disciplines and stuff, then no, you can't. You know, so the working out and stuff should never be the solution for your bad diet.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it's interesting. I think people, maybe they're not conscious of it, but that's what they're sort of doing. They're like, you know, well, I'm going to eat all this, so therefore I'm going to work out harder. I'm going to go and run on the treadmill, or I'm going to this, I'm going to that. It just doesn't work that way. You know, it doesn't really work that way.
It's when we were talking earlier, when I consulted with you about the diet for my competition in 2016 is when I did that. And I remember, and even at that time, my pre-workout meal, because I was training people in the morning, and then, this is when I was training at working at LA Fitness as a trainer. So my workout would definitely be between 1 and 4. So, but my signature pre-workout was 2 honey buns, a Monster energy drink, and sometimes even now and then a sour cream and onion potato chips. And people used to give me shit about it. I'm sitting there at the trainer's desk eating honey buns, or they see me because someone brought me a dozen donuts, so they see me eating donuts. You shouldn't be eating that. And I remember old man Dave going, what? He's just spiking his insulin levels, they're getting that glucose in there and stuff like that. It's like saying nothing but what bodybuilders do when they inject insulin. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, right? But when I went to go prepare to start going for doing my prep for a competition, and I was just so used to eating these donuts or honey buns. And I remember you saying to me, he said, but you could stop that easily because you've done it before. You're disciplined to do it. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Because when you set your mind on, all right, this day is when it actually starts, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then it came back to my memory a couple weeks ago when I was starting the current program that I'm on. I'm just like, okay, we're going to go back to seriously tracking food and, really seeing, because I want to, again, doing an experiment basically is what I'm doing. Let's control everything that I can control.
Right.
So I know what is it actually working and what this, that, and the other. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, the thing is when you're, when you've done so many different things and like trial and errors and stuff like that. I mean, I can speak on my own personal experience, but then also with working with people, I can see what's happening with different things and stuff too. And, back in the day when we were just taking creatine and loading on creatine, they told us to take it with grape juice, So, I mean, we're back then drinking easily 40 grams of sugar with that serving, 40 grams of sugar with that serving. So, I mean, we're taking in a ton of sugar. So I look at it from that macro standpoint. you know, to just oversimplify it, is that, okay, so if it's grape juice or if it's, you know, Kool-Aid or if it's a Gatorade or a donut, you know, I mean, there's reasons why certain things might resonate with someone versus another. Kind of, to me, the mechanisms are very similar, you know. So you get to the point of like constantly refining, and then you say, okay, well, what's optimal? So I mean, optimal wouldn't be donuts and stuff, because they're, you know, the ingredient quality and other aspects of, like, if someone's dealing with high inflammation, I don't want them eating high sugar. So it's just everybody's going to be different. You just have to, you can't really replicate the diets. That's why I go back and forth sometimes, because people, I understand the idea of giving somebody just sort of a cookie cutter diet and saying, just follow this. This is a 1,200 calorie diet.
Right.
These are the macros. For somebody that just needs something, it's going to give them benefit. But then once they follow that for, like, say 30 days and they're doing well, okay, let's customize this for you. It's sort of like, you know, an experiment to see if they're willing to stick with something. But it's just like when you tell someone that wants to gain, you always say the same thing. Just eat. I'm not making a diet for you. Just eat. Well, I am eating. No, you're not. You're skinny. Like, you're not. I'm eating everything. No, you're not. The moment you give them a diet, their head explodes, because they're like, oh, I wasn't eating that much.
Yeah, I don't know, you could eat that. Man, I could get all that in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want me to do this how many times a day?
Yeah.
What? And it's like, one of the things, even with, like, weight gain, I had a kid, his diet was fine. But I said, you're in maintenance. No, I can't eat anymore. I said, all right, then take your protein shake and have it with your meals. Just make a protein shake. It's functioning in the background. That's going to give you another extra almost 500 to 600 calories a day. And he's like, what? And I'm like, that's how it works. That's how it goes. You know, instead of having 3 eggs, have 4. Instead of having 1 serving of rice, have 2.
Were you putting on a nutrition class?
I did a while ago. I just kept it. Yeah. I had people in here. It was fun. And I was like, please, I hope I do this right. But yeah, this is my easy, super quick way to calculate your own macros if you want, rather than me doing it for you. You're still going to be in the ballpark. But this is like, my new approach is sort of like, it's not a new approach. What I'm really trying to enforce for myself and my own sanity is that my mantra is, I want to empower you so that you can do things for yourself. That's not to say that I don't want to, like, just send you on your way. I still want the interaction. I still will be your coach, but I want to empower you to make decisions that you should be able to make yourself, like how the hell to eat. And so your macros don't need to be rocket science. It's not, I'm not saying this is a problem, but where I think some of the confusion comes from is people will get an app, and I swear to God, I'll tell them to use macro factor, whatever. They'll play with that. Then they got MyFitnessPal. Then they'll go find an app in the app store I've never heard of, and they'll be flipping out because they'll be like, well, macro factor said to eat this many calories and this much protein, but then MyFitnessPal said I could have this many calories with this much protein, and this one said, they're all different.
And if I work out in MyFitnessPal, if I work out in MyFitnessPal and I put my workout in there, it adds more calories that I can eat.
And they're like, well, I'm so confused. I'm like, you did that yourself.
Yeah.
You did that yourself. If I just give you something to understand, like nothing, it is, there's so much flexibility. That's another cool thing about nutrition. It's like, there's certain things that you have to abide by, but you have a lot of playroom. If I'm talking to somebody in there, it's like, they're really not real big on carbs. Well, I don't want to give them a carb dominant diet. We can still be within the realm, be in a deficit if you need to lose some fat. Mm-hmm. We'll just up your fat, you know? If you really don't want that, you really like carbs, well, then I'll focus more on carbs within the parameters that are allowable for you. And we'll do more of a carb-heavy plan, and you'll still lose body fat. So I always tell people the one thing I don't want to compromise on, and you can go out there and find opposition to what I'm saying, but I don't want you to compromise on protein. I usually follow like 1 gram. That's usually where I'm with it. Might be a little bit higher for some and slightly lower for others. But people will have, not a lot, but you know how it goes. A couple people say something to you and it just pisses you off. But they'll come back and they'll be like, well, I read that too much protein in this. I'm like, well, how much protein do you think is okay for you? You know, and say I have them on like 120 grams. They'll come back and say, well, so-and-so says I only need like 70 grams or 80 grams. And I'm like, here's the thing. You can try it and do it that way if you want to. I don't know what's going on here, why all of a sudden you just want to oppose what I'm saying. You know, you're paying for me to help you. Now you went out and did the investigating that you didn't want to do before you met me. So now you're out there doing research. But fine. Do it. My rationale I can explain. You know, if you have an explanation for why you want to do it, the bottom line is, at the end of the day, do what you want to do. You know, be responsible for the result.
Yeah, don't blame me.
Yeah, don't blame me. Don't say
because you're doing what you want to do.
I want.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the one that came to me with this crazy stuff. I told you to eat 120 grams. You know. So at the end of it all, I love it though, because nutrition to me is it's one thing you can get into the discussions of the cost of food and all that other stuff like that, and I still have tips and pointers and whatever with that. But it's so cool what nutrition can do for your health, and like I said, like how you respond in the gym. I mean, people can be having a workout, you know, and they're just lacking because they don't have the fuel. You know, I tell people you can have a luxury vehicle and stuff like that. It's not functioning because you're not taking care of the engine and you're not putting gas in the tank and everything like that. You know, you can have all kinds of different scenarios and stuff. So you just have to, my goal is when I'm working with people is get them to be real about themselves so they can feel good about what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.